We have here the Factor 1 Aero bike in a size 52, weighing 8.13 kilos, and in pounds, 17 pounds, 14 ounces. That's with pedals, cages, and Garmin mount on there. Stay tuned to after video here. Free buy contest on those black ink wheels right there. Hey guys, GC Performance here, back with another video, and today I have for you guys the Factor 1 Aero bike. This is their full-fledged Aero race bike that Factor offers. A lot of cool things about this bike. This is a size small, and as you guys saw, it weighed right around 18 pounds with pedals, cages, and Garmin mount. Cool features about this bike are offered on the down tube right here. This is one of the bikes I've never seen before except for on this bike. They call this the twin vane. This is literally an open piece to the bike. See how it's completely see-through on there? That's the tire right there. They say that this helps to add stiffness to the bike. They also say that adds aerodynamics to the bike in their terms, or what they found out in their wind tunnels. But the bike looks extra beefy in that area. I will talk about this later on the video, my thoughts on it. Also on the front end of the bike, you can see this whole cockpit and fork area is all one piece. The handlebar and stem are attached to the front of the steer, and also the fork itself to go ahead and add for one, added stiffness to the bike. Two, they said for aerodynamics, and three, it makes the fork a little bit wider as well to add for some tire clearance on here. This bike hasn't been revamped yet, but it's still what they offer for their most high-end bike for their aerodynamics. This bike right here with the Sram Red and the power meter and these black ink 60 wheels, I believe this configuration, as you see, is $10,600. That is one thing that I do say about Factor. Whereas every other bike company out there is around 13, 14, 15 grand for this kind of setup, Factor's around 10 grand. And not only that, they do allow you to go ahead and choose your configuration for stem length, bar width, crank length, I think even cassette as well. So you are paying this premium price tag, but you're also getting the ability to choose what you want. And when you are choosing this kind of bike that is a $10,000 bike or a $14,000 bike in terms of competitors, you kind of already know what you want. You're not just gonna go out and buy a $10,000 bike and be like, hey, give me whatever. You have an idea, you're making the plunge, you're going for the bike that you really want to spend the money on. So you probably have an idea of what your stem length is, or what your bar width is, what your crank length is. So I do find that really, really nice. I think that is a nice thing that these direct-to-consumer bikes offer to consumers. I wish more and more bike manufacturers did that. Obviously, I know that sometimes they can't do that, especially if they're on the floor in a bicycle retail shop. Usually the retailers have to eat it, but it is what it is. I think that is a nice plus. Also with Factor, they usually do spec out all their bearings, bottom bracket, and I think on their newer bikes like the Ostrovam with ceramic speed and components. So not only are you getting to choose your components, but you're also getting ceramic speed components as well. I do like Factor. I think that their logo and their design of their bikes are very modern. They look very sleek. I like the look of them a lot, especially the Ostrovam, but their colorways look really good too. It's a really modern, fast looking race bike that I think they did a really good job with their branding. But yeah, so for this Aero bike, it's not the deepest sections on the Aero bikes, and again, like I said, they haven't revamped it a little bit, but this is what you would get if you got an aerodynamic bike from them. The wheels are black ink, which is their own wheels that they make. Black ink is going to be their 60 millimeter depth wheel, but Black Ink is like their sister company. This is their product that they make themselves, like a Revolve, like a Bond Trigger. They have different depths you can choose with this wheel, but again, the customer chose for 60 millimeter depth because these are the deepest dish wheels they offer. The cool thing, again, like the stem on here, this is a whole one-piece bar and stem combination with a gloss look that really matches the bike very well. And then it's attached to the stem, or attached to this fork, it's piece right here. They have 35 millimeters of adjustment when you get the bike, but you can go ahead and lower that if you like. You can kind of see they have these little rubber stoppers here to stop from this fork dinging and bashing that. That was probably a problem right there, but they went ahead and fixed that. You do also get the included Garmin mount here as well. But yes, now let's talk about this twin vane feature on this bike. This twin vane feature I think is pretty cool. One, you don't see it every day. So it is a very cool looking idea for a bike. Does it do what it says? Who knows? Is it more aero than a normal bike? You have to take the company's word on it because they're the only ones who are testing this in the wind tunnel. In my mind, I feel like the airflow will kind of go right through there. But the one thing that I don't know, and I have to ask the consumer, I feel like from this tire, from this front wheel, usually when you're riding your bike, you get a lot of debris or dirt that kicks up on this down tube of the bike. If this is wide open, you have your water bottle here, I feel like this would get hit on your water bottle non-stop. That's just my take on it. I don't know for future. If anyone has one of these bikes down below, please let me know if that's the case, because I feel like you just get a mouthful of dirt on top of your water bottle all the time, which is crazy. Again, the idea of it looks cool. I've seen this in red as well. This bike looks really badass in red, but I don't know. It is nice. They say with the splitting the carbon, like I said, that it adds a little bit of stiffness because it has the two pieces of the carbon to go ahead and make it a little bit stiffer laterally. But that's the case. For tire size on here, this is a Continental Grand Prix 5000. This is a 25 millimeter tire. They say they optimize this bike to be the fastest with a 25 millimeter tire and a 28 millimeter tire. I think that's about the widest this thing can take. As you can see, that front on there, maybe you can get a 30, but this is a 25 and it looks pretty close to being maxed out once you put a 28 on there. The Black Ink have their own bladed spokes with their own Black Ink hub. And then these wheels are tubeless ready, but he has tubes inside here as well. It is a through axle bike. We have 160 millimeter rotors on here by Sram Red, and we have 160 millimeter, we have Sram Red brake calipers right here as well. The bottom bracket on this one is, I don't know. I don't think this one, it looks to be a press fit bottom bracket, because on this side, you have the SRAM C press fit sticking on that side. I will double check and let you guys know down in the comment section what it is, but it does look to be the press fit. You have this nice little indentation on this top tube right here to make it look really sleek. You have your own Black Ink bottle cages as well, carbon fiber. You have your aerodynamic seat post wedge right here. You have the one logo right here. This is where you're going to go ahead and adjust the seat post and the wedge right there. You also have this little rubber piece to stop some dirt. For the crank on here is a 5037 chainring with a Sram Red Crank Arm and a Quark power meter on here. You do have a SRAM front derailleur with a SRAM flat mount chain, and also a 1033 SRAM Red cassette with a SRAM Red rear derailleur. Pedals are going to be a Look carbon keel blade, and then for the rear wheel, it's the exact same as the front, the Black Ink 60 millimeter wheel with a Grand Prix 5000 tire on here, and then their own Black Ink hub, which will give it a little bit of a free of sound test inside of the stand as well. The customer chose to put his own seat on here. This is the Sella Italia SLR with the carbon fiber rails and carbon fiber body. But yes, let me know what you guys think about this design. Is it gimmicky? Does it work? I mean, the bike is fast, the rider's fast. It is really cool to look like. I just don't know if this kicks up dirt on here. This would be my biggest concern. I don't really see a lot of dirt on the bottom here, but it's a really cool looking bike, and I like to see more companies strive outside of the box. I'm sure it's very fast. I don't see a lot of riders riding this in a tour. I see them opt more for the Austria Van. That seems to be the best all-around bike that they have to offer. I think I've seen on the flat stages a little bit of the one, but a very cool bike indeed. So if you guys were interested in this bike, hopefully you guys got some information on this model, and Factor does a really good job of decking out their whole system out here. So stay tuned for after video, and we'll hear a free buy sound test on that wheel right there. All right, here comes a free buy sound test on these Black Ink 60 millimeter depth wheels and their Black Ink hubs. That's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.